Everybody. It is noon on Wednesday, November the 5th, and we have a very special day happening here with the full supermoon, the beaver moon, the supermoon when the sun and the moon are closest to Earth, when the moon is closest to Earth, and the moon is illuminating what we need to see very vibrantly. And so I have some really cool messages to share in this moment with anyone that would like to receive that. And if you're with me, you can comment and chat. And I'm still, let me just turn chat on. I am still figuring out how to navigate this podcasting thing and this going live thing. So bear with me. But we're still got lots of good things to share today. So the super full moon is 13 degrees and approximately 23 minutes. And it was this morning approximately in Palmetto, Florida anyway, at 8:21 a.m. And so I want to share first with that number that we go to something that since 1925 called the Sabian symbols. And the moon is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus, the bull, ruled by Venus, all things beauty, and the words I have, the second house ruler. The moon is in Taurus, illuminated in the sign of Taurus. So the Sabian symbol, we look up 14, Sabian symbol 14. This was channeled by Elsie Wheeler to Mark Edmund, I do this all the time, Mark Edmund Jacob Jones, excuse me, in 1925. So there are some messages that we can receive from the Sabian symbol, and I looked up Taurus 14, and the symbol is shellfish groping, children playing, and children playing. Shellfish groping and children playing. What an interesting verbiage, right? Shellfish groping and children playing. Kind of a contraindication, which is really interesting because the messages in the Sabian symbol for today, the illuminated moon in its full expression of letting go of what no longer serves, is that we have respect for self-discovery in ourselves and others. To become like a child, as it says in the Bible, and to allow each individual to develop his or her own potential, regardless of what anyone else thinks or says about doing so. So, in other words, looking inward to the self and allowing the full expression of the joy of that child within, no matter where you are in your life's journey. Isn't that a beautiful message for today? How many of us are concerned about what others think about what we're doing, saying, thinking, feeling? Many of us have stared down that programming for most of our lives. And every once in a while, it does show up, doesn't it? No matter where we are or what work we've done in releasing. It shows up, that little mind game, that little ego, the trickster comes in and says, wait a minute, right? Based on our programming, don't do that, or don't say that, or, on the, the angel and the devil on the shoulders, right? The little arguments we have with ourselves. The invitation is to have a relaxed and playful approach to personal growth. Hey guys, we're all here to grow, learn, expand, and experience and evolve. I love all those E words. Expand, experience, and evolve, and experiment in this life and allow ourselves the full expression of the beautiful being that we are, to explore and to visioneer and to allow. So in the tarot, okay, key 13, very interestingly, okay, is the Death card. This is a fabulous book, The Tarot and Astrology. When I look up key 13, I get the Death card. Well, the Death card, what does the Death card mean? The Death card is about new beginnings and transformations. Now let's talk about the astrology. We have Pluto in its expression of 1 degree in Aquarius, inviting us to transform and allow ourselves to be our own unique self, that Aquarian that is ruled by Uranus, saying, go and serve others in the group, because it's the ruler of the 11th house, Aquarius, in Pluto, depending on where your natal chart, where it's accessing. For me, depending on whether I'm doing whole sign or Placidus, it's my second or third house. So there is an invitation of a new beginning and endings happening in the death card, key 13, and the end of a cycle and beginning of another cycle. Do you feel that in your being? Are you feeling that in your life? And it's interesting because Pluto is the transformer, the ruler of Scorpio, and we are in Scorpio season, and Pluto insists that we transform, and it's expressing in Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, about serving one another. So how are we bringing ourselves forward to serve the greater good, the conscious greater good, or the collective consciousness? The other things I want to bring out are that in the astrology, there is a water trine going on. That the sun is in Scorpio, trine to Jupiter, the benefic, that blesses, in Cancer. And depending, again, where you're running the charts, Cancer is the sign of, well, first of all, Cancer rules the moon. So, and Cancer is the sign of family, home, and family and home. Very important. But also the work that we do. Ruler of the 4th house, home, Cancerians. So depending on where it's showing up, we're invited to transform what's going on in our family life, in our relationships, in that Cancerian. It's blessing us to do that work and to examine our hearts, because Cancer rules the heart space, and to go into our heart space and examine ourselves for new beginnings and endings, letting go what no longer serves, what we're holding in our heart that has 60 times more resonance than our brain. Isn't that an amazing fact? Okay, also, so we have the sun trining Jupiter, which is absolutely so blessed, such a blessing, illuminating Jupiter, giving the benefic even greater power. And then trining Saturn the teacher. Saturn saying, how is everything going in your journey? Saturn in Pisces. Pisces, our intuitive self, our spiritual side. The ruler, Neptune ruling Pisces. Are we expressing ourselves in victim, or are we expressing ourselves victorious over our lives? Are we allowing ourselves to be the alchemist of our own journey? Are you receiving that? Now let's dive a little bit deeper. We got some other great things going on. We have some other great things going on. We have Mars, the fiery planet Mars, 00 degrees, meaning it's new beginnings. You hear this? Fiery Mars lighting up Sagittarius. It's actually Mars as sextile with Sagittarius and Pluto, all in a stellium together, 1 degree. I might have messed that up. I screwed that up. Let me go back. Let me go back. Pluto, 1 degree, is also trining. This is also important. Uranus and Gemini, also 00 degrees. So 1 degree conjunct is very tight, meaning it's really highlighting, transforming, dramatically possibly, our Gemini expression of our mind, which is ruled by Mercury, how we think and our thoughts, if that makes sense. 00 degrees, a new beginning for our mindset or our thoughts. And we can do it very, very quickly. In my case, it's accessing my 7th house of partnership. So looking at those partnerships, that really falls into play with key relationships in our life and new beginnings and ending, because the relationships in our lives and the partnerships in our lives define much of how we are expressing ourselves, who we're aligning with, both in the most intimate of relationships. Well, we're going to talk about the most intimate of relationships, right? And so Look at those divine partnerships. Also, the nodal axis of the North Node and the South Node are in Pisces 60 degrees in the North Node, also highlighting that Saturn exploring our intuitive self and our true divine self, and possibly all those things hidden where we're self-deceiving. And the Dharma there, or the South Node, is expressing in Virgo. Let's look into deep within the self. Virgo, many times in the tarot, is the Hermit. Okay, so examining the self. The North and the South nodes are again inviting us to dive deeply within the self. I'm just looking at my notes. The other thing I noted was that in the chart that I ran, it's the first house, that's got that Mars energizing Sagittarius, energizing Pluto in that first house, and it's in opposition to the seventh house that I mentioned of partnership in the chart that I ran for Palmetto, Florida. So what I'm looking at. So there's an opposition there of me and we, and those very strategic partnerships that are coming into your experience to teach you. If you're having tension in your marriage or in your partnership or in your friendships, it's there to show you and illuminate something in you. Bring it back to you. Bring it back to self-examination. When we live this way, judging outside, we are missing such an opportunity to heal and evolve and experiment with our own self and have fun. It doesn't need to be a whole big mishbuckus, right? It doesn't need to be this serious, awful exploration that's, dramatic. Well, it's always dramatic, really, the dramedy, I call it. But examining the self can be a lot of fun. And I digress. So another thing I wanted to bring out, since we're talking about inner child, I have this gorgeous deck that was gifted to me. Again, I think this was also gifted to me by, I mentioned, Goddess April Lindevald. It's a beautiful deck of all childhood parables and stories. It's called the Inner Child Cards. It's a beautiful deck. It's an older deck. And this is the outside of the card with the sun. Isn't that gorgeous? I was moved by my divine team to choose a card from this deck for you. I haven't used it in quite a while, and it was the deck that appeared first when I opened up my little treasure trove of decks. And so I've given so many decks away during this transition in our life. But this beautiful card, the Eight of Wands, look at that card. Of course, the number 8 is infinitum, and about imagine the infinitum in the flow of things, right? Being in the flow of things. Look at how fiery and creative this is. See the butterfly on top? How beautiful is that? The Eight of Wands. I just want to see. They don't all have butterflies. So this alchemy of a butterfly is about becoming your beautiful, truest self. And wait till I read a little snippet from it. From this deck, the Eight of Wands, I just wanted to... 8 fairies are being initiated or reborn in the fiery realm of power and transmutation. How gorgeous is that? Their wands are being re-energized and alchemized. Love that word. As they invoke the birth of new consciousness. Ultimately, what is truly being awakened in them is the light of the world, the light of everything that is within. Everything outside is within, as above, so below, as within, so without. Join these fairies as they light their wands in the blazing fire. It may be time for you to reunite with a group, a family, or a consciousness that moves you beyond self-interest or personal power. The way you use your power has significant consequences in the world. Fire can destroy or fire can heal. Become a light bearer who honors truth and feels compassion for all who share this earth. In other words, shift from the power of anger into the power of passion, the power of love, the power of healing. I found myself, and I'll just share this nugget, on my walk this morning. I got extremely energized when I saw these beautiful ducks splashing around, and I have come to know that they are spraying Roundup here in our community. And that is in the state of change. We are changing that. And I get very emotional about this because Roundup is known, they have paid trillions of dollars in damages. So please don't spray Roundup on our beautiful earth. It causes lymphoma. It's a poison. It's an herbicide, and we really need to stop poisoning our Mother Earth. I'm extremely passionate about that topic. And as I found myself going into that place of sadness and anger, and I said, wait a second, I have an opportunity here to do what I know is right and to bless the water, bless the earth, see the healing, and all these beautiful creatures that they are living in freedom and peace as we all deserve to be. So that is my message for today in this beautiful super moon. Well, I do have one more thing to add. It's called the beaver moon, from what I've read. And beavers are hard at work. The symbology of the beaver is to go to work. So I invite you to go to work on the alchemy of the gifts that are inside of you, that God is asking you to express in the primordial all. God bless us one and all. Have a beautiful day. It's not a dress rehearsal, so enjoy it. Every moment counts. Amen.